All right, you just got one of these. Got to learn how to thread this. Oops. And then you have all these directions. How do you thread it? Stay tuned, I'll show you how. Hey, Chanel here with another Sew Bit, bringing you weekly videos to help you get better and better with your fashion sewing and more creative. Be sure to subscribe. So you just got a new machine, but now you have to learn how to thread it. I know how that goes. I've been teaching that about 11 years now, how to thread the machine. And these directions are pretty daunting. The good news is half of it is in another language, so you only have to read half of this. I highlighted all these little spots so that it helps to kind of go, okay, what step by step. Read it over real quickly, kind of get the gist of it. Watch the video, watch how I do to show you to thread it. Practice it. Also, every time you practice it, run a piece of fabric through to make sure it's in there right. If you see bumpy thread or it's just not connecting right, that means you didn't get it in there right. Number one thing is to get the bobbin in the right direction. So the machine doesn't sew well, and sometimes it doesn't sew at all if it's in the wrong direction. So I am going to show you how to thread the machine. Okay, we're going to start with the top threading. I'm going to use this crazy orange thread to show you. The directions on the machine are all, usually on most machines, are all up right here. This dashed line is for threading the bobbin, how to wind a bobbin. And then the solid line, there's one right over here, you can see I've highlighted that, shows you the direction how the thread's going to go. So you're going to put it on top right there, and then you're gonna, this just actually just goes over and under this bar right here, like that. So it just goes under this and then over that right there. Real simple. You just got to follow the directions on there. Then there's a number 2 right here with an arrow, which means goes down the first crack here, down, and then there's a 3 right here that has a U-turn. So then you take this thread and it goes U-turned up, and then in this crevice here is the take-up lever, and that should be to the highest position right here. So you're going to put your hand wheel and move it to the highest position. Then there's a 4 right here that has like another U-turn. So what we're going to do is take this thread up and go right to left, and it just slides into that lever. Then you come down, there's a 5 right here, but like, what does that mean? So I should turn the light on here. 5 is, in my book here, this direction right there. Let me see if I have this in the camera. And there's like a little guide above your needle right here that you just slide the thread into it. So I'm going to hold the thread taut right here. So like you do dental floss, you hold it tight, and then you just slide it in right there. Not critical for the machine to work, but it really helps to keep this thread close to the needle, because the needle, you think it's going down into the fabric, down, up, down, up. You want the thread to be flush with the needle. So now we thread the needle. It's pretty that simple. So the best way to thread your needle, there is a cutter on the side of your machine, but it kind of frays the thread. So I usually just do a fresh clip, and then I use a piece of white paper and make sure the needle is to the highest position, because you got to thread this little eye right here. My hand's going to be in the way, but I put the white paper behind here, and that takes the glare off the metal. And then I'm just going to thread the needle eye. This is actually cheap thread, so it's not going in really well. And then I just pull it there. You want to make sure this is not twisted. It's going straight down, hugging the needle, and then goes from the front to the back right here. So straight front to the back like that. And then just needle is threaded. Now we have to do the bobbin. So here's your bobbin. There are stickers on my machine right here showing me the direction the bobbin has to go in. And also it's engraved in the plastic right here. So this bobbin needs to go in a certain direction. And we want to make it sort of like a P. Like if this were the P part and this were the stem, that's a P. Or basically it's going this thread's going counterclockwise like that. So either way, whatever works for you. I always put it on the desk in front of me. You can't see it there, but right here. And I make sure that it is going counterclockwise or in the shape of a P. Then you're going to put it into, actually I got to open this up. This just push it over and slides open. And I'm going to put this into the case here. You can see there's the case here. Mine has a gray, we call it a gray tongue, covering the rivet in the metal there. There's a little part where this thread is supposed to hug into the metal. It gets caught in there, and I always tell my students you can hear it. Let's see if we can hear it. I'm going to put my finger down to stop it from moving. It's actually, the illustration shows that right there, and you can hear this like, it's like a little click click like that. So you're going to do it again. You're going to finger down, swipe it under, it kind of scoops under, and it gets into that little metal rivet, and you hear this like click click like that, real subtle right there. And then you just lay that thread to the side right here. Now the goal is, I'm actually going to take this presser foot off. You just snap that little back tab here and the presser foot falls off. So you can see the goal is to get the thread to come up out of this hole right here. So if you don't hold on to this bobbin thread here, because then it prevents it from coming up. So what I'm going to do is hold on to the top thread here, and I'm going to take the hand wheel, and I'm going to go, the hand wheel always goes towards you, so I'm just going to go down and up like that, and the needle's going to go down and up like this, and you'll see this move, and then you'll see the thread come up out of this hole. Let's see if I can get my hands in the way. Down, up, stop, and pull that top thread. So it's only the top thread that's in my hand. You can see there's a loop right here. So now I'm going to take the loop. I'm not touching this thread because that would come back out. So I'm going to pull it up and out like that. So now my thread is up out of that hole. And I just trim that off. Now if the presser foot was on, I take these two threads, put them underneath the presser foot back, and then I cap it, and then it's done. Like that. So what you want to do is you want to get, I'll show you how, I wish I had a better, gotta get this out, quality thread here with me. I'll show you how fast you should be able to thread this after you practice many times. Just go down, up, bring it up here, scoop it right here, put it through that little lever that's on top of the needle. Also when I'm threading this needle, right here, my head is not down close to the needle like that. It's up so that I don't have such a glare. So now it's threaded. Now I'm going to make sure this is in the right direction. I'm going to put it in. Just hear that little noise. You scoop it up. Make sure the needle is down, the thread's there, down, up, pull, like that. I'm not even touching any of that bobbin thread. Now I'm going to pull the loop up right here, right there. Trim it off, put it underneath the presser foot, cap it, and it's threaded. So you should be able to, after practicing, be able to thread this machine that fast, and then you can get on with the good stuff. All right, I'll show you the next machine. Okay, so our next machine is what I call the bottom loader. The first one was our top loader, and the bobbin lives under here, with the bobbin case that actually comes out right there. So this bobbin case actually sits into the other machine and then comes out for this one. So I like the top loaders better. I think they're a little easier to thread, but these are good too. So these actually are better if your machine gets jammed. It's easier to take it apart. So how we want to do this first is we thread it the same way. There's no arrows on this machine here, but it does have the first direction here, which threads the same way. So you're just going to pop that thread up there. Now I gotta say, most machines all thread the same way. There just may be little differentiations. You just got to get the instruction books out. Threads the top the first way, or the same way. You're going to go over and under that little bar. Then it comes down. This first one goes up under this disc. Just follow the cracks in here. Then it comes up here. Make sure the take-up lever, that's that little silver guy right there, is up the highest position. You go right to left. Tight, something's hanging up there. Sometimes even if this hangs up there, you'll have a problem. So you just come down, and then again, you have this little lever right here, just pops in there. Like that, it's just like a slide. Some machines, it comes from the other direction, so you just got to look at your direction book. And then we're going to give this a fresh clip here. I'm going to use the white piece of paper, bring the needle up to the highest position, and thread it. There we go. Also, if you lick the end of the thread too, the saliva on the thread prevents it from going through. It's a little bit harder, so it's better not to lick it. A lot of people do that. They instantly go and lick their thread. Okay, so that's how fast we did the top part. Now, the bobbin case has a shuttle hook. That's this little guy right here. There's a lever right here that kind of holds the bobbin in. So like if I actually put the bobbin in right here, see, it falls out really easily. So what I want to do is put the bobbin in here, and then if I pick this lever up, it holds it in place. Some little thing that grabs it in there somewhere. So now this bobbin, you want to hold this facing you with the shuttle hook straight up, and then you're going to put the bobbin in the opposite way. So it's going to be going clockwise like this. So I don't know what letter that is, but clockwise. So we're going to put it in here, pop it in here. It's going clockwise, and then right here you see that little rivet in the metal, and that's actually what's inside, or in that top one too. That's where it goes through. So this actually comes through here, slides up the thread, and then comes out that little hole right there. So it's just like a slide through. You'll see this metal, the way it's built right there, and it comes out that little hole right here. And so now I'm going to hold on to the lever like this, and I'll put it into the machine here, which is, you can see there's a shape for the shuttle hook to go there. So I'm just going to pop it in there like that, and it will roll around right here. But if you hold the lever, you'll hear like a little snap in there. So I just held this out here and pushed that in here. Oh, by the way, these little black things right here, don't mess with those. When those slide over, all this stuff comes out, and that's just to unjam a machine if it gets jammed up. So again, you want this in real firm. You don't want that falling out at all. Okay, you should hear a little snap. I'll do it again. Like that. You hear a little snap. Okay, it's in there good. Now I'm going to hold on, just as all the same as the other machine. Hold on to the top thread here. That's my orange here. I'm going to take the hand wheel, go towards, like the hand wheel goes towards you, and you'll see the needle go down and up like that. So we're going to go down, up, and just stop, and then pull your top thread. I'm not touching this thread at all. And then here's the loop right here. Here's a loop. So I'm going to pull this loop up and out, and you see all the rest of the thread go with it. And then if I take this presser foot off again, you see it came out that hole again right there. So that is how you thread. And this machine is an older machine that does not have a cutter, so it can't even cut it right there. But so then you want to always finish off by taking both threads and going, we call it under the water skis right here. There's a little crack or like a slit in the presser foot, and it goes back to the back, so that when you go to sew, your threads are back here and the fabric's feeding through and doesn't get all jammed up, because that's another way that machines will jam up. If you actually sew with the thread all out here, put your thread in, and then all these threads get caught up. So you always want to be in control of the thread. Put it back, and put that back up, and do that, and then you're ready to sew. All right, practice threading the machine once a day would actually really get you good at it. I know that's not always possible, but if you really want to learn something, getting in the habit of it and doing it makes it muscle memory, I call it. You just learn how to go really quickly. I think I can thread the whole machine in about 20 seconds. So my number one goal with my students is to really get good at threading the machine and then being done with that part and then moving on to the good stuff. Because the sewing machine is just a tool. It sews seams. You don't want to spend all your time struggling with threading the sewing machine. So get that part done. Really just hone in on there and learn how to thread it. And then even if you don't sew for a little while, after a while, do at least once a week, thread it, because it's you can kind of forget how to thread the machine. After you do it for quite a while, it becomes second nature. But real important, make sure the bobbin goes in right, and then do a test swatch on, just get a little scrap of fabric every time you thread it, especially when you're a newbie. Run it through a piece of scrap fabric. Make sure you don't have bumpy stitches and that they connect well and they're not skipping, and just look at it and learn to know the noises of your sewing machine too. If you've got some big thuds or something, then something's not right. So and feeling the stitches, if they're bumpy, something's not right. So just really pay attention to what's going on all that, and that'll help you. Practice, 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 practice. Get that done with. You can move on to the good stuff. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll bring you weekly videos to help you in your fashion journey. And that's it. If you need a sewing boot camp, I'll put the link below. I have a whole sewing boot camp. It's only $27. Goes through all of this little more detail and all the other stuff that you need, like the needles, different kinds of threads, the tools we use, all that basic stuff in the boot camp. And then you're on your way to sewing whatever it is you wanted to be sewing. See you in the next sew bit.